This video is brought to you by Ancestry DNA. Hey brother! Ben, you know what never really made a whole lot of sense to me was those little blue flame guys in Brave, the Will of the Wisps. Why is Merida following these things? I mean, the first time they show up, boom, giant bear. The second time she follows them to the witch's house, and boom, she turns her mom into a giant bear. And the final time, it seems a little bit more helpful. They lead her to her mom who's about to be executed by her dad, but again, that's because her mom is a giant bear. I mean, what are these things, like little bear beacons? Merida, why do you keep following them? Well, today we try and explain the Will of the Wisps. See, the real trick of Brave is knowing which story you're paying attention to, because there's actually two happening. The first is the seemingly broken relationship between Merida and her mother and what they had to do to repair it. But then the Wisps seem to have their whole other second agenda. They are trying to free the trapped soul of the fourth prince by killing him, which sounds like a bad thing, but ends up sort of being good. I mean, he seems grateful in the end. You're welcome for dropping a giant stone on you. Tricky little guys, aren't they? Actually, yes, they are, but that is also kind of the point of them. In fact, sightings of real will-o-wisps have been reported all over the world, like real people seeing actual little fire fairy pixie floating orb guys. And they go by a bunch of different names depending on where you are. Jack-o'-lanterns, hobby-lanterns, friar-lanterns, hinky-punks, just to name a few. The word wisp itself is actually just a bundle of sticks often used for a torch. And the will part of it comes from the folklore behind it, where the character responsible for holding the torch is named Will. Now, I'm sure there are many versions of the story, but the common one amongst England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, which is I'm sure where they're getting the inspiration for Brave, is this. A man named Will is given a second chance at life to get into heaven by St. Peter, but he ends up leading such a horrible life that he is instead doomed to walk the earth forever, carrying nothing but a small ember for warmth. Will then uses the ember to lure people to their own doom in swamps, which is remarkably uncool of him. Curse you, William of the Wisp. Actually, fun fact, sometimes in the story his name is Jack, and that's where the phrase jack-o'-lantern comes from. Jack of the Lantern. Seriously, Merida, why are you following these things? Even the folklore seems to indicate it's trying to kill you. But the crazy thing is, like I said, it's not just in Europe. Every culture on Earth has their own version of some fire pixie floating orb thing leading you to your death in a swamp. In Asia, they're called Alea, which means ghost light. There, they confuse fishermen, make them lose their bearings, and possibly even lead them to drowning in a swamp. In Australia, they're known as Min lights, and surprise, surprise, are found mostly in Channel Country, which is not some great magical place where everyone just has a YouTube channel, but is instead, a swamp. But my point is, the reason that they've been reported all over the world with the exact same situation in a swamp is because it's not fake. They're real. Well, sort of. What I mean is there isn't actually some undead soul or fire fairy or pixie or floating orb intentionally leading people to their death. Or at least I'm like 68% sure. I mean, I'd probably follow one if I saw one, just to prove that it wasn't real though. Oh, I'd walk right up to it and just be like, you are so fake. And then I'd probably die in a swamp. Crap, maybe that's how they work. Maybe all this folklore business is they're doing. They want you to think they're fake so that you feel safe, but then you end up dying in a swamp. No, but seriously, the real reason every culture on Earth seems to have the same story about a floating light leading to your death in a swamp is because science, and because swamps are dangerous. What is actually happening is a phenomenon called ignis fatuus. Ignis fatuus is kind of like that party trick where somebody farts into a lighter. Except it's a swamp. Hashtag swamp farts. Guys, we should totally actually try and get this trending. Make sure you share this video and use this hashtag. What's actually happening, and I'm gonna read this because chemistry words, is ignis fatuus, hashtag swamp farts, are caused by the oxidation of phosphine and diphosphane and methane. These three gases are all produced by organic decay, which is a lovely feature of almost every swamp because, again, swamps are dangerous. When phosphine and diphosphane meet in in the air, they ignite and light on fire the much more abundant methane, which produces a flame. So what's happening is people are seeing this flame flickering off in the middle of a swamp and are understandably curious and like, I should probably go investigate what's happening out there. And then they get stuck and sucked down into the swamp. Because swamps are dangerous. Man, how bummed would you be if you thought you saw something shiny and went to investigate and found out there wasn't even anything there or even anything shiny, and it was actually just a swamp farting. And then you died. Hashtag death by swamp farts. And possibly alligators. Swamps are dangerous. Man, no joke, this has to be a record for the number of times we've said farts in a video. And personally, I'd like to think that makes 10-year-old me very proud. When I grow up, I just want to talk about Disney movies on the internet and say farts, because let's face it, that's hilarious.
Is that my voice?
I mean, it was me doing an impersonation of me, so yeah. I mean, we grew up in a really southern town. But whatever, I achieved my dream, so yeah, there. Farts. Coming back to Brave though, given everything we've just learned, it seems that Pixar's version of the Will-O-Wisp behaves a little bit differently. I mean, Merida follows these things all over creation and doesn't once die in a swamp. In fact, I don't even think we see a swamp in Brave. I mean, did Pixar not do their research? Are these not swamp farts? Are these just regular old land farts? Well, the other meaning of the Will-O-Wisp is as a phrase, which just means an elusive goal. So with that in mind, the inclusion of the wisps in Brave is actually really cool on like several different levels. First, they are of course just a common element of Scottish folklore. Second, they serve as a fun plot device that help Merida to be where she needs to be, but also where the wisps want her to be. But then they also kind of represent the battle Merida is having with breaking family and societal traditions. Merida very much has this elusive goal of wanting to be her own person and not just fit the mold that her culture and in particular her mother wants her to be in. But by following the wisps, she's able to break that mold, resolve things with her mother, and free a long-cursed prince from a bear prison. Bear prison being someone who's trapped inside of a bear, not a prison specifically for bears. Although I have to say, being trapped in a prison for bears sounds equally terrifying. But what has really been exciting me about the Will-O-Wisps lately is that in Pixar, they very much seem to represent a dead soul. I mean, we literally see the fourth brother turn into one at the end of the movie. And it just so happens that this November, we are getting a new movie from Pixar, Coco, that is all about how undead spirits interact with our own world. So perhaps the wisps are our first clue to how Coco will fit into the Pixar theory. Or who knows, maybe I'm just overthinking it. We do spend a lot of time on this channel just overthinking our favorite film franchises, and one of our favorite things to investigate is whether or not two characters could be related to each other. Like, could Jane from Tarzan be a descendant from Belle? I mean, they both have the same brown hair and the same tea set and kooky fathers and are interested in kind of wild men and they love wearing yellow dresses. I mean, it does seem possible. But one thing we've never thought to ask here at Super Carlin Brothers is, who are we related to? Where are we from? So we turn to Ancestry DNA to see if we trace back to anyone of interest. Ancestry DNA can connect you to distant cousins and even reveal possible ancestors, all from a simple saliva sample. It's super easy to do too. Just order your kit, return a small saliva sample, then Ancestry will analyze your DNA and you'll get your results in 6 to 8 weeks. The test is $99. And if you use our URL, ancestry.com/SuperCarlinBros, you'll receive a special offer Ancestry DNA is offering to all of our viewers. Here's what we found. All right, are you ready to look at these like Ancestry results?
I'm weirdly nervous. Do you think we're related?
I'm pretty sure we're related. Okay, so you can see that we're 34% Irish, is that what yours says?
Okay, I have 33% Irish.
23% Europe East, 19% Europe West.
Scandinavian, 17%.
Yeah.
And then Great Britain, 5%. So we are pretty...
See, I'm Great Britain, 8%. That seems higher, like a weird margin.
Settlers of Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Like, what could have happened?
What could have happened? There's so many things.
As of 1925, we still hadn't made it into Virginia yet.
Okay, I went to Ancestry DNA results. Immediate family, you, Benjamin Carlin. There we go. And now look, you can see like third cousins and fourth cousins and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting. Like, I don't know who any of these people are. Pratt, okay.
Hey, Pratt, yeah.
Pratt, yeah.
That's my middle name.
That's your middle name, so that's gotta be someone. Oh, Ben, did you know that we're not descended from Africa at all?
What?
Or Asia.
That's shocking.
But also, it looks like 0 Native American. That's interesting. So we are 100% Europe. 100% Europe.
But what's crazy is that we're not mostly anything.
That's true. The most we have is Ireland, which I think we knew because like Carlin is like an Irish name.
Irish name, yeah.
You and 17 of your DNA matches, along with 82,306 other Ancestry DNA members, are genetically linked to form the genetic community Irish in Southern Ireland.
And those were our results. Again, be sure to use the URL ancestry.com/SuperCarlinBros, and when you get your results back, be sure to share them with us using #MyAncestry.
Ben, my question for you and everybody else is, what do you think? Is Brave and the Will-O-Wisp the first clue to Coco and its inclusion in the Pixar theory? How do you think that will all line up together? Let me know your thoughts in the towel section down below. These socks are amazing! Guys, thanks for watching. As always, please remember to like this video if you haven't already and subscribe so you don't miss any future Pixar videos from us. If you want to see how Jane might be descended from Belle, you can check out this video right here. Or if you want to see every Easter egg and fast fact from Brave, you can check out this video right here. But Ben, that's all I've got for you today, man. I will see you in another life, brother.